Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Strait, and I am a senior marketing major here at the university.
My name is Audrey Price, and I'm a senior accounting major.
My name is Carl Manners. I am a senior marketing major.
My name is John Hill. I'm a senior management major.
My name is Nikila Darby, and I'm a senior accounting major.
And we are here today to tell you about the unnecessary fees here at Texas State University caused by the COVID-era crisis. Next slide.
Throughout our presentation, we will be walking you through our research and how we plan to implement our proposal to eliminate electronic course fees and mandatory fees for facilities going unused by students at Texas State University during the pandemic. First, we sent out a survey to students to gain a better understanding of their prior knowledge of the mandatory expenses they are paying to attend the university online, and we have developed a schedule, budget, and funding to outline what we can do to implement our proposal in a cost-effective and timely manner. So in 2005, Texas State implemented an electronic course fee in order to have proper funding to create effective online courses for students and faculty. These additional fees are used to cover the design and development of the course and the support services available for students and faculty. The electronic course fee is a $50 per credit hour, meaning the student classified as full-time will be paying $600 in online course fees if all of their courses are online during the pandemic. Universities have gone completely or partially online, and students are not able to take advantage of the facilities, clubs, and activities that once contributed to their college experience, but they are still paying for them. Students pay thousands of dollars to attend large-scale universities to gain a high-quality education through face-to-face interaction with colleagues and professors, but the online classes lack the engagement students are looking for when they attend large universities like Texas State. This has resulted in a decrease in the higher education enrollment in the United States because of the pandemic and the economic recession. Usually during recessions, people go back to school because of the weaker job market, resulting in a higher unemployment rates. But because of COVID-19, people are withdrawing from universities and putting their education to a temporary halt because online classes are not the quality of learning students are looking for. Texas State University specifically has experienced a decrease in the number of students attending their university for undergraduate, master's, and doctoral degrees according to their university enrollment by level of degree. Many college students work in the service industry in addition to being a full-time student and have experienced layoff, pay cuts, and furlough during the pandemic, adding additional stress to everyone impacted. The pandemic has put financial pressure on schools to find ways to cut costs simply because they are having to find ways to attract students to schools that do not have the financial means to apply and attend these large-scale universities.
So we chose to conduct some primary data, which was in the form of a survey. Research methods included random sampling, so there wasn't skewed data in any one major or age group. And here are the results. We got about 58 responses. I know you might be thinking that's not a lot because of the actual size of the school, but we were constricted to about a week to conduct this survey, so we got as many responses as possible. So let's get into the actual data itself. So about 98%, all but one respondent said that these fees were not fair. Excuse me. And the 68.9% said they know that they pay for limited services and services that have been shut down or, like I said, limited. About 40 respondents said they do know, in fact, they are paying for these. Some said they somewhat knew, but they didn't know to the full extent. And then there were others who just straight up did not know that they were paying for these. Now, why is this important? Because only about 8.6% of the respondents said they use any of these facilities. Most said they either did not use them at all or not very often. So that is a huge discrepancy in the amount we are paying and the amount we are using these on-campus or university services. Next slide.
We're proposing that Texas State temporarily eliminate unnecessary fees during the COVID pandemic. As mentioned, fees such as recreational sports fees, athletic fees, and fees associated with taking online courses are a huge burden on students. They disproportionately affect the large number of students who have suffered a loss or reduction of income. Many students were forced to live at home or off campus and just don't have access to the facilities and resources that they are being charged for. We realize that eliminating these fees will be difficult for the university. However, by assuming a portion of the financial burden placed upon students, Texas State can show just how committed they are to the long-term success of its students. Students across the country have made it clear that something needs to be done in order for them to remain on the right track. According to a survey of over 13,000 students in the country by a study guide platform OneClass, more than 90% of students believe tuition should be lowered for online classes. OneClass also found that 76% of students are unhappy with the quality of online classes. The college experience should be more than just sitting in front of a computer. Next slide. Texas State isn't alone in its battle to preserve student enrollment. Several universities across the nation have already made significant changes to alleviate the financial stress on students during these very uncertain times. According to the New York Times, Franciscan University of Steubenville decided to cover 100% of tuition costs after financial aid and scholarships. Williams College reduced overall tuition by 15% when it announced that it would be moving online in the fall. Other universities, such as Johns Hopkins, Princeton, Georgetown, and Spelman, are all reducing overall tuition by 10%, while the University of Southern California is offering a $4,000 per semester living at home scholarship. Next slide.
So here we've laid out a schedule that will allow the university to apply any necessary adjustments to student accounts prior to the start of the spring 2021 semester, with tuition adjustments for the fall semester made by December 14th and spring adjustments made by January 11th. Students will be able to plan their spring semester payments accordingly. And next, we will move on to the topic of budgeting and how we will make the proposal feasible. Next slide. So here we have a chart that includes the mandatory fees that are paid by students and how they are used. The fees included on this chart are related to facilities and services that have been eliminated or offered at a limited capacity during the pandemic. Student Business Services has noted on their website that any student taking at least one face-to-face class is required to pay all of the fees listed on this chart, regardless of whether or not the student actually takes advantage of the services. For commuting students, the cost of paying the fees listed here can quickly outweigh the benefit because the student is required to travel to campus for a single class that may have not been offered in a virtual setting. This would be in addition to the electronic course fees that the student would be required to pay for the remainder of their classes that are being taken online. Students enrolled in fully distance education are only exempt from paying the bus fee, the student center fee, rec sports fee, and the medical service fee. Students are not always given the option to choose between virtual and in-person instruction, which gives us less control over the cost of our semester. When planning for a semester, students also have to consider the cost of commuting, like gas and parking permits. And next, we will move on to the cost of the proposal and how it will be funded. With limited operations, the number of staff required to perform services on campus has decreased. According to the 2020 fiscal year operating budget, the areas of housing, transportation services, recreational sports, and custodial staff is estimated to decrease by the end of the 2020 fiscal year. Our proposal would only require the university to reduce or eliminate the fees in a way that students are not paying more for decisions that are out of our control. The reduction or elimination of fees will be offset by the savings achieved across the departmental cuts. Next slide.
And so obviously there are a few benefits here. The first that is up and foremost is that students have less fees and less stress. And as Audrey stated earlier, there are less students attending Texas State, and this positive publicity with their low cut costs can entice more students to come in since rates have dropped since COVID. And from a marketing standpoint, Texas State can even further that proposition with their low costs and really buckle down and gain attention of these new students to show that they truly care and create more of that community that Texas State has. The money we will save also will not go to waste. It'll be reinvested into many small businesses in San Marcos. For instance, the Square, there's a lot of businesses there that are struggling. And if we had a little bit of that money back, we'd be able to reinvest it into our little community. Now, there are a few takeaways that we were trying to get clear and through here. It is definitely plausible to cut these costs at Texas State. And with the right costs cut, as Nikayla mentioned earlier, it is more possible than you may think to have these areas cut and things like that. And as John mentioned earlier, there are schools already that have begun implementing programs to cut costs to make it easier on the students. So let's make Texas State a home to students who are struggling. And we hope you take into consideration this PowerPoint presentation we have set up for you. Thank you for your time.